Welcome to Give Social, a show about helping you improve through inspiration. Each week, we discuss things that make your heart sing through stories, interviews, and debate. Every day, normal people do amazing things in business, charity, or through self-improvement, and we're here to celebrate them. My name's Rob.
And I'm Jen. So if you're looking for authentic, down-to-earth and practical help to build a better life, then we welcome you to the show. And just to make sure you never miss an episode or one of our bonus podcasts that we might sneak in from time to time, don't forget to subscribe through your preferred podcast provider. It's easy and, more importantly, it's free.
Now, let's get on with the show.
So you can't have a show in 2020 without a conversation about COVID-19 and lockdown. So we're coming out of lockdown now, but life has changed, hasn't it?
It has, and we've got the good, the bad, and the ugly, but more importantly for us, opportunities that can come through adversity. So we thought it would be a good idea today to take a real life look at COVID-19, what we've learned, and how we might have changed as a result. Not just me and you, but everybody out there as well. It's based on our own specific experiences, but some of it might sound familiar to other people.
So where do we start? Between us, we've picked 10 things that we've learned during lockdown. The first one is...
It's doing everything at home. We quite quickly had to adapt to doing everything at home, working from home. And it wasn't just me working from home. You were working from home. And also Billy was working from home.
Well, not so much, but he was at home anyway.
Yeah, so anybody who doesn't know, Billy's our 6-year-old child. And that got very interesting. But there was some really good stuff. So we didn't have to travel, getting up in our pajamas, arriving for work in our pajamas every day.
The long commute down the stairs.
Yep. Stopping off at the bathroom if you felt like you wanted to. Over to the coffee shop.
I was going to say, coffee's a better
for your Dow Egberts. Other coffee suppliers are available. Yeah, and just having a nice leisurely stroll into work down the steps. And then there was the whole thing about Teams and getting used to doing that virtually. And I say Teams because that's the name of one of the ways in which you got to meet your team on a daily basis. But also there was Zoom, WebEx, Skype, lots of other things.
All that were pretty new to most people as well. Lots of people hadn't really used them very much before. And I think it's been one of those sort of baptisms of fire, really, that if you're not that used to stuff like that, it was tough. You just had to get on with it, didn't you? And just pick it up. But
you don't have the office chat like you did in the office.
No.
So there was less of the coffee conversations, shall we say?
Water cooler conversations.
That's what I was thinking of. Yes, yeah. The water cooler conversations. I can't say I've ever had a conversation at a water cooler before lockdown, and now we all miss it. So I don't know what that's about. But
I'm getting more work done though.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole different one, isn't it? How much work are we doing compared to before? So you went into an office every day. I didn't go into an office every day. I was normally traveling around. What was an average week for me before lockdown in the last 10, 11 months?
Well, it depends. If it was the more latterly period of time, then you were everywhere. You were in at least 3 or 4 places around the country in a week.
Yeah, so a week would normally be me getting up on a Monday, getting a train down to London. I made a train friend once. Hi, train friend. Yeah, and then and then I'd be down there probably for a few days. Then I'd visit a town on the way back. Not out of pleasure.
I was going to say, making it sound like a
nice day out at Bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was them days. Where have they gone? Yeah, staying in a hotel more often than not. Getting home on a Thursday or a Friday.
And then going golfing.
And then going golfing.
I miss my time alone. Oh dear.
So, and now it is completely different. I was saying the other day about how at work I'm most confident on this sounds daft because I'm not a performer, but I'm most confident on a stage in front of the room, public speaking,
holding an audience,
immensely well, holding an audience, and then suddenly I have to do everything over the phone or the digital phone.
That is a thing, though. I found that when you do go and speak at events, or you are in a room full of people, even just meetings around a table, you get so much back from people. Just the body language, and you can tell if they agree with you, or you can see the flash of dissent across their eyes if it's something they don't necessarily agree with. But you just don't really get any of that, or you certainly don't get as much of it, I don't think, through a computer screen.
What you do get in front of a computer screen when your child's at home and you're trying to work is interrupted.
That is a true story.
What are the best things that happened to me? So we had, let's just check, there's not one switched on in this room, so we're okay.
What?
We had the request for Alexa to play AC/DC at volume 10. Thunderstruck at volume 10.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that in the middle of a meeting.
No.
The next thing I don't recommend in the middle of a meeting is for a video conference call and having your meeting in the office, which happens to be next to the bathroom, and your child wandering in after an accident with the toilet paper.
We'll just leave that there. We don't. That's probably one of the most significant challenges, video conferencing challenges of your lockdown time.
They had a thing on Twitter, didn't they, where children became co-workers.
Yeah.
So people would tweet what their co-workers were doing for the day. Today, my co-worker put their fingers through the toilet paper.
God bless him.
Yes. Anyway, which leads us nicely into childcare. I think childcare has been fun. I mean, we're lucky. Let's face it, right from the beginning. Let's not pretend that we're really badly done to.
No.
We have a child. We're together. We were both working from home. We spent a lot of quality time with our child.
Yeah. It's one of those, you're never going to get that back. You're never going to get that experience in time, in life back. It's going to be one of those things that you remember forever. Billy will always remember 2020 when he didn't have to go to school for 3 months, 4 months.
We got to tell him loads of things couldn't be done because of lockdown, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like fortnight. Everybody had gone home because of lockdown.
Mean.
But yeah, I think there was lots of good things, but there was a few tricky things too. And I think we have learned a lot about ourselves during that time.
Yeah. Biggest thing for me with that was proper like mum guilt or parent guilt. Just from every 5 minutes saying, yeah, in a minute, or mum was just in a meeting, or no, I'll get you a drink in a minute, or just sit there and do some colouring in for a bit, or while I was trying to get work done, and then you stop doing the work to give Billy some attention, and then you feel guilty thinking, I've not checked my emails for half an hour or whatever it is, and you think, so I think it was just trying to find that balance of trying to do everything all at once at the same time, and those competing demands. So you have got your emails coming through at the same time, with your child on the other hand also needing you at the same time. And I think that was tricky. And will be tricky for the next 6 weeks because it's summer holidays.
And then you had those times where you realised that actually you had been working and your child was in the house, and they'd come walking through and they'd look at you and go, have you finished working yet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're not on your laptop again, are you?
Who's that on the phone?
Yeah.
Starting to reel off.
Yeah, but they start to, exactly, it's when they start to know who's on the phone and they can guess who it is. No, I think the homeschooling bit's been really interesting actually, and something that, it's made me realise one of the things I've learned from this is that I would not want to be a teacher, particularly a primary school teacher. I think that is one of the most potentially challenging jobs that there is.
Is it? This could be one of our first couple of opinions, but
I think about it every day.
For all the teachers out there listening,
30 kids every day.
I love you all to bits. Is it the hardest job in the world?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
So it's challenging.
Was I putting words in your mouth?
I think you were.
Okay.
I'll have to listen back now.
Is being a teacher challenging? Yes.
Okay. There we go. And he agrees with me.
No, if this is why we need video, because people will be able to see me looking up into the air.
We both got our arms folded now.
Thinking thoughtfully. You can do that, can't you?
Gosh,
yes. Thinking thoughtfully about whether being a teacher is challenging. We had lots of occasions where our child refused to do work. We also had lots of occasions where they just got on with it.
He did, yes. To be fair, let's not be unfair on him because he did do.
Oh, he did.
He did do really well. He did try really hard.
He was
most days.
He was very good for the few weeks that we had him. First world problems. Yes, I do think teachers do a fantastic job. I think parents are at a disadvantage to teachers.
Yes.
Because children talk back to their parents much more than they talk back to teachers.
True. I did have to use the teachers on occasion to say, well, I'll have to tell your teacher you've not done it then.
See,
and you go, oh, okay.
The teachers could have made extra money on the side over lockdown. They have these services, don't they, where you get a video message from a celebrity for your birthday.
Yeah.
We could have had it where the teachers charged to tell children off.
Yeah.
So like £10 a minute. And
£10 a minute?
Come on, the teachers need the money, Jen.
Oh.
And the teachers could go on the video and say your child's name and tell them off for not doing the homework.
Yeah.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah.
I've just thought of that. As we go.
No. Somebody get a pad and a pen, write it down. He's had an idea.
As we go through episodes, Rob will come up with ideas on the hoof and it will suddenly become the best idea ever.
And then if he realises someone's already done it, he will adamantly claim that it was his idea first and they must have nicked it.
I did come up with the sink kettle once, but we'll save that for another episode.
Yes.
Ideas Rob had.
Yeah. Anyway, other things. Let's talk about other things. So panic buying, that was a thing early on.
It was.
Not we didn't do it necessarily, but that was one of the weirdest.
But it only lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't last long, but for the period of time that it did go on for, it did unnerve me a bit. A little bit. So I thought, what do they know that I don't? Like, why do I think everything's kind of going to be all right, but nobody else seems to be comfortable with that?
It was a strange. Let's lay this out on the table for people. Early lockdown, I did all the shopping. Mm-hmm. So I was the one who left the house. Yeah. I don't know why that came into
I think it was just you being the man of the house.
I was going to say my manly
being protective.
Manly instinct kicked in.
It was the hunter-gatherer thing, I think.
Don't worry, love. I'll get the toilet roll.
And he did.
And I did. I tell you what, that at the peak of panic.
Yeah.
Flanagan to the rescue.
Yes.
57 rolls of toilet roll.
Let's tell the story properly so that people don't think you went.
Tell the story. Rob saved the day. 57 rolls of toilet roll. Later, we had neighbours knocking on the door. Can we borrow some toilet? No, we didn't.
I was going to say, I don't think we did.
I was hoping for that. I was kind of.
You wanted to help others, didn't you?
I wanted to open the garage door and start a shop.
You did. Anyway, you didn't.
So we did get a lot of toilet roll purely by chance. So it was a strange feeling going into supermarkets on my own because I never.
You didn't do that in the first place. It's a new experience for Rob.
I had to ask where things were, and they wouldn't speak to me because it was COVID. Yeah. And so that was the other thing about supermarket staff. Love them. However, as soon as COVID kicked in, it was like you weren't allowed to speak to them.
No.
You weren't. There was this, I mean, yes, we had all the thing about space, but you can still use your voice. So
you can just imagine you shouting down an aisle.
Yeah, excuse me. Hola. Checking I wasn't back on holiday. You know, like when you're on holiday and you're really trying to find the mayonnaise and you don't know what it's how to say it in French.
It's French and
Spanish. Felt a bit like that. There's these people who worked in the supermarket in the distance just kind of staring at you. Like, look at all these people. And then, so then you'd get to the toilet. It was strange. So you get to the toilet roll aisle and it was bare.
I was going to say there wasn't any.
Nothing. Even those really rubbish ones, like the ones that... The ones in the cone...
Printer paper.
Yeah, the ones in the cone shape that nobody knows what they're for.
That's not loo roll, that's kitchen paper.
Hey, listen, during lockdown, they even sold out of reams of A4 printer paper. It was getting that bad. And so anyway, we could not get it anywhere. We tried all our contacts.
All connects.
All the connects were without toilet paper. No. And then I remembered that fortunately through Give Social, we have a trade card at the cash and carry.
We do.
So I arrived at the cash and carry, all cocky and clever. About an hour before it opened, there was about 80 people already in front of me. And it was raining. And I thought, no, I've travelled 40 miles. I'm going home with toilet paper.
I was going to say, you could not have come home empty-handed. That would have not gone down well.
And then there was a sign as you walked down the queue to the back that said, limited supplies of toilet paper, 1 per customer. I thought, she's going to go mad if I only go home with 1 roll of toilet paper. Considering I've been gone since Friday. And so I panicked and I just stood there.
That's your definition of panic buying.
Yep. And then I thought I'd get a few other bits while I was there. So £400 later.
And a steam mop. I think we got a steam mop.
I got a steam mop. Listen, you just don't, cleanliness, this COVID. So, yep, I got a steam mop.
Yep.
57 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah, but can we explain the 57? So when it said 1 per customer, what it meant was 1 crate, pretty much, of toilet rolls per customer.
Yes.
So not just 1
No,
packet.
I didn't go in 57 times.
No, exactly.
Yeah, the smallest.
So we actually ended up, but I think we probably felt a little bit guilty afterwards because then we thought, oh no, people might think we've been panic buying when that was never the intention. Nope. And yet we've come away with this many loo rolls.
It was like going to Alton Towers and they had a special on where they were giving away free something. Come on, I'm trying to set the scene here, Jen. Imagine you've got all these people trying to get in. You've got a queue for 2 hours to get in.
Yeah.
You get in and then there was just like the most secure area. And this area was covered by cones, security guards, barriers, and behind it was toilet roll. And it had forklift trucks going mental, literally just riding around with big crates of toilet roll on them. And then members of staff throwing packs of 57 toilet rolls over the barrier as people caught them and they could have 1 in their trolley. It was
ridiculous.
It was crazy. So I was glad to get home.
The other thing you bought, and this was my request, was some UHT milk, some long life milk. Because this is what I mean about how it affected me weirdly. So, I didn't go out and panic buy, but for some reason I had it in my head that it was really important that we had UHT milk just in case we couldn't.
So how many times in our life, we've been together a long time?
Over 15 years.
We've been together a long time, Jenna. How many times in our life have we bought UHT milk?
0. Actually, 0 occasions. But it was just the thought of just not being able to have a brew.
And how many bottles of UHT milk?
You got 6.
No, sorry. How many bottles of UHT milk do we have left?
6. They've got a good few months left on them yet. I'll get them. Yeah, I'll find something. I'll get them used. We could do a whole episode on UHT milk. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't think I'll ever drink it. Do you know what? I'm going to make you I'll do some porridge or some cereal or something, or I'll make you a brew and you'll have to tell me if you can tell. You'll be able to tell, I'm sure, but
it's witchcraft.
It's witchcraft.
You can't keep milk that long, not in the fridge, and it be all right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've covered panic buying.
I think we probably have.
Zoom parties. Where did they come from?
Well,
I still don't like them.
These are a bit hard work, aren't they?
I don't want to spend all day at work talking to people on a video and then finish and go, hey guys, let's all meet up, having a Zoom party. A what? A Zoom party. We all get together on those things we use at work all day and we all have a party. So we've had some.
But
we've had some and they've been lovely.
Yeah, exactly. For any of our friends who may listen, they honestly, yes, absolutely good fun. But I absolutely get your point that having been 8 hours in and out of meetings.
Yeah, I'm sure for those who weren't working on them all day and wanted to see friends. And let's be honest.
It's a great way of doing it though.
These technologies have brought people closer together in a time when they can't be together.
We took our friends on a tour around the new house.
We did.
Virtually on Zoom.
We did. So we moved house just before lockdown. we managed to get some work done. The electrician was kicked out the hour.
It was the day before the announcement, wasn't it? And we were just
the hour before lockdown. We knew we had everybody in. It was like
with the painter and decorator in.
It was like 60-second makeover.
It really was.
DIY
60-minute makeover.
Is that what it's called?
I think so. I don't think you could do it in 60 seconds.
Oh yeah. Okay. DIY SOS.
Other programs are available, of course.
Yeah, so we had a load of people in just to get something sorted inside the house, and then we went to lockdown, and then I went crazy on the DIY, but we'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah.
But we did give people a nice tour of our house via the laptop.
Yeah.
And our mobile phones.
Yeah.
Switching. We were like multi-camera views.
Oh, it was, yeah.
I find that I got more drunk at Zoom parties than I do at normal parties.
Definitely.
I had a Zoom party with my MBA class at university. We kind of all celebrated handing our assignments in. And I think I sat down about 7:00.
Well, yeah, because that's right. Yeah. Yeah,
oh, I did.
You'd nipped out because that was another bit of a trick. Well, not a trick, but it was a bit of a nice little addition to the party.
I delivered a gift to our senior lecturer
who lives around the corner.
Dropped something off at
his
doorstep.
Driveway. Yeah.
So I dropped him some beer off, and then we all went on a party. And I just sat there with a big bottle of red wine, which I finished.
And you said, "Oh, you go and watch one of your programs. I'll be done in an hour." And that was at about, like you say, maybe 7:30 or so.
1 a.m. I
was going to say it was midnight, and I was thinking, right, well, I'll probably I think he's probably not coming up now, so I'll go to sleep.
I sat at the same table in the same chair for the whole period and drank a bottle of wine. So that was fun. And then we played some fun games though, didn't we?
We have.
We had Generation Game.
Yeah. The good ones with it, like we did like the family get-togethers, and you set up a whole series of different
We did a question of sport where we did what happens next. This is me being the tech geek trying to work out all the different things that we could do. I had the theme tune for every game show that we hosted. Bullseye with the kids. So we set up a number of different point scoring mechanisms around the house where they had to try and score points by getting the hoops.
Well, they had to nominate one of us three, either me, you or Billy, to be their representative.
Yes.
And then we had to take the shot for them. There's quite a bit of pressure.
There was.
On that one.
There was. And then we had, I'm sure lots of people had these ones, running around the house to get as many items as you could. Things like flour, bags of flour, you can't get one of those. Loo roll. Hand
sanitizer, hand wash.
Sanitizer. And then the odd crazy one as well. And just having to appear in front of the laptop with those items. So that was fun. And then there was the most, I suppose, not serious, but the more intimate ones with just one other couple having a conversation in the evening over a glass of wine.
Always over a glass of wine.
I think drinking habits have definitely changed.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the better.
No, I think people probably, because of the uncertainty and the, I hate this word, unprecedented nature of what we were facing, people didn't really know how to deal with it. It was just, all they knew was they didn't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning for an hour and a half commute to work the next day.
That is
so
true.
People were probably more likely to have a drink midweek when they wouldn't have done normally. Because, I'm not getting up first thing to a big long drive. And then people just get used to that, becomes a little bit of a habit. And I think we did that early on, didn't we? But then after, I think 3 or 4 weeks, we went, hang on a minute.
I think it was 5 weeks.
Was it 5?
Yeah, it was 5 weeks. 5 weeks in.
It was a bit of a blur.
5 weeks in, we decided we'd probably spent enough money on alcohol and not enough money on gym equipment.
Yes.
So we thought we'll reverse it. And so we decided we'd get ourselves a little bit fitter.
We did that for a few weeks.
We did. That lasted. Well, to be fair,
we
did do the Couch to 5K.
Oh, we did?
We did the whole Couch to 5K.
We did.
From beginning to end. And we continued it. And now we're still going out.
That's true.
3 times a week.
Yeah.
5K a day.
Yeah.
That's 15K a week.
Yeah.
It's really not much, but it's something.
No, but it's better than what we were doing before, which was zippity-doo-dah.
It is. I know, because we're fortunate, we've got family who live nearby, haven't we? So we've got parents. Your parents live within a mile of our house. My dad lives only a couple of miles from here. We'd be able to walk past their house and go to the window or stand on the street and they'd come to the end of the drive.
Yeah.
And I think they found it a bit more frustrating, didn't they?
Yeah.
Different things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think especially when you've got very close relationships as well. So, it was always a thing with my dad, particularly when Billy, always play fighting and wrestling with each other. And, my mum never put him down. He's always, he's glued to my mum's side. It's been really, really hard and a lot harder than you think, really. Certainly at first, Billy would want to run straight up to his nanny or his granddad. Yeah. And you'd have to go, oh, no. I mean, certainly from Billy's perspective, he got used to that 2 meter rule really quickly. And he actually, not in a frightened way, but he got used to it. And he would point it out. He'd say, oh, no, stand back. Or he'd make a point of it, but not in a way that he was frightened or overly worried. He just knew it was a thing he had to do. And he likes following the rules, which is helpful. But yeah, I think it was quite tricky that. Well, it still is, well, he's still not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We still can't go for a hug. We can see them in the garden. We can have one of them in the house. And we've had birthdays. He's had a birthday. You've had a birthday.
Yeah.
No kisses and hugs.
No.
So yeah, I think that's something, the physical distancing, social distancing.
Physical distancing is a good way to describe it, isn't it? Because it isn't.
It's not social distancing.
It's not social distancing at all. If anything, people have found new ways to be social and give
Hey.
God, never mind. But
every episode, ladies and gents,
I'll find a way.
We will squeeze it in.
We will. So physical distancing is the way that I like to describe it because that's exactly what it is, isn't it? It's.
I've never heard you say that before.
Have you not?
No.
I might because I say it a lot at work.
Yeah. But I like it. Physical distancing.
Because if you think about, how important it is to have connections with people, especially when you're going through times of change, social distancing is a really tricky way to describe it because that's not really what you're suggesting people do. You're not suggesting that you are suggesting that they isolate physically if they're poorly or they've got symptoms or you just keep your distance from people, but you're not saying that you don't socialise in other ways. So that's
true. But when we were out on our walks, we did get to see lots of things in the local area that we never really did before.
Well, no, bear in mind, I've lived in this, other than moving away for a few years and coming back, lived here all my life, really. And then I was seeing pictures on Facebook of my friends in the village who've gone for walks and I've gone, oh, where's that? And they've said, oh, it's just, down past the farm, just go down the bumpy lane. And that's why, and you go, oh, I didn't even know that lane was there. And you find out new little places to explore.
We're very lucky. We have lots of farmland near where we live, quite a few nurseries that have still been trying to keep on top of growing the flowers and the plants and things like that. But what it does make for is some lovely walks. And I think before this, we'd have never have said, oh, it's 5 o'clock. Let's go for our walk.
Yeah.
Because 5 o'clock was our walk.
Yeah, it was.
And then we'd let him take his bike. And for certainly a good 6 weeks, we did it every single day.
Oh, yeah.
I think we stopped doing it every day when who's he? Mr. Johnson, the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Yeah, I think when the Prime Minister announced you can go further than...
It's almost like you can have more than one form of exercise a day.
Yes. Then that's when we kind of went, oh. Yeah, we don't need to walk anymore.
I don't feel like it's not even a thing and it's not a thing anymore, is it?
Just drive somewhere. We could drive somewhere and have a long walk. Yes, let's do that. Then we drove somewhere and drove home again. The long walks disappeared.
Yeah, and we drove somewhere, let Billy out on his bike. We sat on a bench.
Oh, do you know what have been brilliant? Do you know what's been brilliant for children to learn bikes during lockdown? Pub car parks.
Big, empty pub car parks.
Yeah. We got Billy a new bike just...
it was his birthday.
For his birthday. And so I just take him around random pub car parks. Nobody in there. Go be free as a bird.
Yeah.
But then you'd get funny looks from people driving past. They would just see a man stood alone in a pub car park.
Just looking like he was missing. Missing his local.
Yeah. Staring at the window.
Yeah.
Let's talk about DIY.
Yeah. I think that... go on.
Everyone's been doing it.
They have.
Inside, outside especially.
I think it's the point is that you're at home, you're in the same four walls all the time. And if you're not going for your walk, that was it. Your attention is very much drawn to the various, marks on the wall where there's been a picture hook or, shed in the garden that needed painting. Just painting. Yes. Just needed painting.
Okay. Who's going to tell this story? You or me?
You was your shed.
Was my shed. We moved into the house. We had lots of plans for things we were going to do inside the house. And then one day I went outside and looked at our shed. Now the shed had been there, apparently has been there for many, many years, built by the man who lived here.
And he'd lived here 50 years.
Yes. So the man who lived here, not before us, but before the people who lived here before us. And he built this shed, which he was very proud of. I went out to paint it. Well, I went out to look at it and decided it needed painting. And then it was on the floor. And it took down a hedge with it.
Oh, part of the conifer came down.
I just gave it a little rock and thought, it's not as stable as people make out. This long-standing...
Just borrow this hammer. Just get this hammer here, knock that little bit of wood there, and look.
I didn't borrow a hammer. I borrowed an axe.
A blunt axe.
It's an axe and an axe. And so then decided I was going to pull down the shed to make space. I don't know what for. And so...
But then what happened?
We pulled the shed down.
Yeah.
But this was the birth. This was the reincarnation of Mr. DIY. Rob
to
was
reincarnate,
born.
there must have been something there before, but I can't say that this is new.
Previous life.
Because I didn't know that.
This happens to people all the time, Jenna. They go through their life not realizing they've got these hidden skills from a previous life.
Yeah, okay.
And suddenly emerged like a phoenix from the flames. Rob, the DIY expert. So I started small.
Yeah.
I built a bar.
Yes.
It was a bar out of pallets. Everybody does it. It's very Pinterest. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was sturdy.
And what happened was you went to a well-known DIY store to get some paint for the bar and came back with some masonry paint as well as the paint.
I did.
Which then became my job to paint all of the masonry, all of the fence posts, all the fence panels. Oh, and then the fence panels themselves, they got painted as well.
Yes. So let's go on a journey with this.
Okay, go on.
So we've got some pallets. A mate of mine had a pallet.
Yeah.
I could do something with that. So I got the pallet. I built a bar. It did take me 2 hours to put the first screw in.
Who helped you to understand where the screw needed to go?
You helped me with the first screw.
I gave you an epiphany of how to attach two crates together.
The problem I had was that the hole to put the screw in was longer than the screw. Now, unless you're an expert, you wouldn't know what that was on about.
It's very technical explanation.
I apologize to listeners that I'm taking them, into advanced DIY.
You probably weren't expecting this level of.
But the hole was longer than the nail, and so I had great difficulty joining this up.
It was the fact that you couldn't screw a hole deep enough into the two pallets.
That's the same thing.
Oh, right.
And so eventually Jenna came out, pointed me in a direction.
Yeah.
And I was away.
Why don't you try that? Oh, it worked. But then you did the rest of it.
I did do the rest of it. And
tell them about your corners on the top of the bar.
Oh, so I found, and I did find this because I've never used it before. Apparently I got it as a birthday present. I found a jigsaw. Now, not a jigsaw that you put together. This jigsaw you plug in and it makes corners.
It's got a blade on it.
It's got a blade on it and it makes corners. So I made a corner for the bar.
Yeah.
And then I was away. That was it. So we've got a bar. Now I've got a shed that's been knocked down and a big space. Somebody suggested, I better say who this someone is.
Yeah.
Our highly talented, multifaceted, very creative stepfather of Jenna's suggested that we could have some decking and another shed tucked away in the corner.
But we'd have to remove some trees.
But we may have to remove some trees. We may have to, a bit of groundwork was how we put it in the trade. So
the trade. Go on.
Those guys in the trade call it a bit of groundwork.
Yeah.
So we cleared the space and he taught me how to build decking. Well, he told me where to buy it. I paid for it. Somebody delivered it.
Yeah.
But
he let you shadow him.
He did.
While he...
I learned Listen, I was a lackey for the day.
Yeah.
So I learned lots of different things.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being, now I'm going to blow people's minds here.
Go
Are you
on.
ready? The 3, 4, 5 method. Easy for me to say. The 3, 4, 5 method changed my life.
Yes.
Right angles.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Do it in front of yourself now. Do it on the table. Do it in your head. Go along 3 times. So, see, I've got it wrong already. Right, just go along. Just go along.
Go along what with you? Just your hand?
Yeah, here we are. We're doing it. Fingers.
Yeah.
Just go along.
Yeah.
Imagine 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now
1,
go.
2, 3. Yeah.
Now go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Now, the line from where you started
Yeah.
to the line where you finished will measure 5. Jen's nodding. If you have, you have a perfect right angle, that's it. Right. Now this absolutely blew my mind. I feel like I'm now an insider in the building trade.
The thing was, though, is that some of your friends who are actually in the building trade and who actually know how this stuff works, when they heard you say 3, 4, 5, it's like meerkats. They're like, huh? How do you know that? It's like, what's he on about? Knowing that, Rob for the past 30 odd years has never once held a conversation for any length of time around anything like that. And everyone thought, oh my goodness me, what on earth has happened to him?
See, we're giving away free lessons in our second episode. People, you're getting value for money on this.
This not even paying for it.
This
is just extra stuff.
Always giving.
See.
Always giving.
Yes.
It's nearly time to wind up the show.
It is.
We have changed the way we shop.
Yeah.
We've changed the way we shop massively.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience when we went to buy a toy for Billy with his birthday money.
Yeah.
They just reopened the shops. It was only a couple of weeks back. And unfortunately, the place that we went to that we knew was a single place where we could buy a toy. Mm-hmm. It was open, but they had no toys. So we had the risk of an upset child. Mm-hmm. Across the way was a famous shopping centre.
Yes.
In the Northwest that we kind of gave each other the look and said, do we risk it?
It's that secret parent look when you daren't say something out loud in case either A, the other one disagrees, or B, you can't do it for some other reason. And it's that you're trying to exchange the nod and the wink and the shall we without knowing.
What's that noise?
That
is that what you just did? Did you just look at me and go,
I don't think I did, no. But anyway, it wasn't meant to come out
just
like
do
that.
It again.
No, well, I don't even know what I did. So anyway, nudge, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Shall we go over to
the toy shop?
The toy shop in the big shopping centre.
The big toy shop, yeah.
We decided yes.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we'd decided no.
Mm.
It was just an awful experience. And not because it was busy.
It wasn't busy, was it?
If it was busy, we weren't going to park and we weren't going to go in. We said that when we started. We drove in. We thought, oh, this isn't busy. In fact, it was really quiet. So we were then stopped by a man who insisted on telling us all the rules, which is right for him to do.
Quite right. Yeah.
We need to know the rules.
Yeah.
I felt a bit sorry for him because he was saying the same thing to everyone who walked in the door.
Well, I said to him when we came past, I said, you need to record that into a dictaphone and just press play and smile. Because you're going to have to just keep saying it over and over again.
And then we made a beeline straight.
Well, the agreement, the silent agreement that we made with our eyes was that we weren't going to any other shops at all. Because, to be honest, only half of them were open anyway. But the decision was we weren't going to any others. We were straight into that shop.
Now, we were good because we had our face masks on.
We did.
We had our face masks on in the car. We had our face masks on as soon as we got out of the car to go into the shop. So we were wandering through this big shopping centre, the three of us with our face masks on. Loads of people weren't.
Yeah.
And then we had to queue outside a shop, the shop that we were going to. It was a famous shop. We can probably say the Disney shop. I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
And we were queuing for ages. And all these people queuing who didn't have masks on. And we were like, why are we queuing?
Yeah.
And then we realised we were queuing because they were giving everybody a face mask. And then they were telling people how to use a face mask before they could come into their shop.
But they were trying to manage the number of people going in as well. So I think it was only sort of like maybe 4 groups of people of up to 3 at a time, wasn't it? Something like that. It was only really limited numbers. And like you say, quite rightly, but it just wasn't enjoyable, was it? It wasn't the shopping experience that you're used to. And there was you didn't really want to spend really much time in there. It was just a case of, right, can you see what you want?
I think we spent...
Get it and go. The least amount of time ever.
Yeah. If I said 20 minutes, I'd probably be pushing it.
Oh, I was going to maximum.
Yeah. That brings me nicely into the members of the public. Because I can't not speak about members of the public. And I have a view about some of the way that some people have been during COVID. But let's not dwell on that too much.
No, we don't know.
But I do think that we have learned a lot about each other. It's interesting when you look at other people and you see how they behave. And it's all over the news. You know, the day after announcing lockdown is eased. Or
beginning to ease.
Beginning to ease. Coronavirus has not gone away. We're just seeing what it's like if we let people do a little bit more. We end up with thousands of people on a beach or loads of big parties, illegal raves. And then we moan because we're in lockdown. Then we moan because we're not allowed to do this and we're not allowed to do that. And at the end of the day, my view is this is something that we have never, ever dealt with, seen before. We're not getting into politics. We never get into politics.
No.
However, I have some sympathy for those who are in charge of trying to tell people what they should do. Could be the police, could be the government, could be fire, ambulance, whoever it may be. There are members of the public who just take it too far every single time. What I wanted to finish on was something positive.
Definitely.
And through what this show is all about, what we do is all about, is making people feel good. And there are so many different ways in which we've made people feel good throughout COVID-19. Loads of people have done loads of amazing things. Some of it's been for the benefit of helping people who maybe don't have much, whereas other bits have just been...
Just kindness, just helping out neighbours who have been shielding or isolating, going and getting some shopping for them, dropping it off, or, you know, even just the clapping for carers. All of those different things have been just a real show of community spirit and people coming together and finding opportunities to help each other. And
community spirit is probably the thing that is highlighted in our next guest, who we're going to speak to very briefly about some of the things that he's done. And his name's Neil. So hopefully you should be able to hear the conversation I had with Neil earlier now. Neil, it's Rob Flanagan. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Rob?
I'm awesome. Listen, we've been having a chat about COVID-19 and all the amazing things that people have been doing. I've been talking all about some of the amazing things that you were doing. And one of the ones I want to speak to you about today was Play Your Cards Right. Just tell us what happened with Play Your Cards Right and where it came from.
Basically, I've been working at Chorley Football Club and trying raising money for Darren House at the home games. I was doing Play Your Cards Right. So when we got into this lockdown where nobody could get out of the house apart from your one daily exercise, and there were lots of people on Facebook and Twitter doing lots of singing. And as people know, I only do Sweet Caroline, so singing wasn't an option. So I thought, what could we do? And I thought we could want to be a bit more interactive with people so they could get involved and trying to raise a few quid as well. So I thought of Play Your Cards Right. And then you just got to start thinking, how are we going to do this?
So tell us, how did you do Play Your Cards Right with everybody at home?
So we did it through Facebook Live. So we opened up a registration, which started off with about 40, 50 people playing on the first week. And on week 14, we had just short of 200 people. And I spent Sunday morning writing everybody's names down and giving them a number.
So people commented on a post that you put out, and then you would add their name to the list.
Yep. And then throughout the day, people would get the number, and then when we went live with it, which is quite nerve-jangling after you've got to tidy your house and tidy your kitchen and make sure everything's all sparkling, which is a good excuse for cleaning up in COVID.
Because you did just go live on Facebook, didn't you? In your house. And if I remember right, it was in your kitchen.
Yeah, in my kitchen. My daughter with an iPad, the wife with a supercomputer phone, and I was there for the looks and the charm, the sophistication.
And you had some funny outfits as well.
I had my Heidi High outfit, which got some nice comments. I think I grew into it. It's a bit too big. Got some braces in the last week to kind of try and keep my pants up.
Fantastic.
But basically, we just had a number generator, and if your number came out, you had literally 20 seconds to give me a call live. And then you just went through the process of going from 10 cards, higher and lower, down to 1. I had some very good friends who threw in some prizes because I didn't want to charge people doing it. I wanted it to be fun and interactive and people to get involved. So I threw some good friends in from Domino's Dave, who's not called Dave, he's called Paul. But we're calling Dave anyway. And he threw in some pizza vouchers. I had Gary just throwing in MOTs, and we had one lady who gave me 14 bottles of Prosecco.
So it was proper, almost bullseye prizes as well.
It really was, yeah. And I always felt really bad when people lost, especially when they got so close. When you have a queen and then a king comes out and you've gone lower, I felt them being distraught. But it was just about trying to raise some money. I think in 12 weeks we raised just short of £3,000.
Fantastic. 12 weeks, people in the houses, ringing up, having a game of Play Your Cards Right, getting a few local businesses to throw some prizes in, and you managed to raise £3,000.
Yeah, incredible, really.
Absolutely fantastic. Neil, we're going to be speaking to you in the next couple of weeks about everything that you do, because there's some amazing stuff that we've witnessed and supported and everything else over the years that we've managed to watch you do, and are absolutely fantastic, all in aid of charity and fantastic local causes. So Neil, thanks a lot, and we're going to speak to you very soon when you've got your very own episode.
I'm looking forward to it.
How good is Neil? He's brilliant. Everything that Neil's been doing during COVID-19, some of the things that he's got himself involved in, some of the people that he's helped, the activities that he's got people just involved in on Facebook. Play Your Cards Right was absolutely brilliant. We played along a couple of times. Yeah. Now, just to say that we're going to be speaking to Neil exclusively, dedicated a whole episode, because there is so much more about Neil that I want people to know.
Yeah.
And you used the word community spirit earlier. This man epitomizes what it means to have community spirit and to bring joy into the less fortunate, but also to bring people together for good stuff.
And creative ways of giving to people and getting people involved.
Yes. So keep your ears out, because next week or the week after, we will be speaking to Neil all about everything that he's done. But for now, it's time for us to finish today.
But before then, why not join our Facebook group, Give Social, or head on over to our website, givesocial.co.uk. We've got some really special things lined up for subscribers and Facebook followers, giveaways, guides and free tips, so don't miss out.
So for now, that's us, but we'll see you all next week for more Give Social. Bye-bye.